Hey everyone and welcome back to my channel! Today, I thought I'd share with you all my deepest, darkest thoughts and my secrets. And that's by showing you all how I annotate my books. Yay! Over the past year or so, I would like to say that I finally developed a way of annotating that I really enjoy and actually like doing. Because before, annotating has always been a hassle to me. I never liked doing it. It took so much time and effort, and I felt like I was wasting time by annotating. But today, I don't feel that way anymore. So honestly, let's just get started. I don't really have anything else to say except to buckle in and take some notes because there's gonna be a lot of information in this video. Starting off strong, here are all my tools for annotations. First, we obviously have this mysterious box. What do you think it's filled with? Highlighters, obviously. My favorite highlighters are the ones from Stabilo. I really like them. I feel like they're very long lasting. The color is so vibrant and also just like saturated. I like these the most just because I feel like some other highlighters have a very spotty application where sometimes the color is so vibrant and beautiful, but then other times you can barely see it. And with these, they never disappoint. Yeah, I have them in like every color possible, I'm pretty sure. And whenever I use a highlighter, I like to match the color of the highlighter with the cover, but that's just me. Sometimes it also doesn't work and that almost makes me want to cry, but that's okay. The second thing I have is actually the most important tool, and that is a giant geometric triangle. No, actually you don't need one this size. This will be just fine. I cannot underline without a ruler or a geometrical triangle. I don't like it when my lines are crooked. This is very helpful. You definitely need to have one of these, and you can also use them as a bookmark. So it's like a 2-in-1 package. The third thing you need will be a pencil or a pen. Now I have different ones for my different annotation methods. I have this gold one that actually isn't gold. It's a black Pilot 0.5 pen. I just lost the black pen, so now it's in this gold one. And yeah, I usually buy just these Pilot 0.5 refills. You can buy like a big set of these at your local something store. We call it a Karstadt. And then for my other annotating methods, I'll either use pencils or just any different type of pen. I don't really care what color it is. It can be purple, it can be yellow, it can be brown, it can be black. I don't care. I really like this one actually. It's a Rex liquid longliner, but don't use this one on thin paper. It will bleed through and it will ruin the papers. Don't do it. Only use this on thick paper. And fourth is obviously the most important thing, the tabs. Now I have a full collection of tabs, but they're all from the same brand and I will be linking them below because I don't know the brand name since they're all out of packaging, but I love these. I really like them. There's so many different colors. We have this dark fall one, then we have this bright pink one that's really cute. We have this very pale one that I feel like is very good for like brightish grayish covers, and then we have, oh my god, this one is so pretty. We have like pure blue ones. I mean, you can always mix and match, so it doesn't really matter which ones you buy. Now, since those are all the items I use, let me now explain to you actually the 3 methods. So this is going to be very complicated. I don't actually know where to start, but I'll try my best. I have one method for books that are very shocking and will have a lot of reactions for me, aka lots of romance books and thrillers. Now this is the method I would like to call the write your thoughts and emotions down in emojis. So for this method, I'll either use a pencil or a random colorful pen. Here we have the reappearance of Rachel Price, which I just read in a reading blog. Now this method is not just underlining certain lines. No, I also like to express my emotions with certain symbols, like question marks, emojis with an open mouth that represent my shock, aka little gasp moment, certain small words, and frowny emojis. Let me show you what I mean. And yeah, so here's the first page. As you can see, I have a few annotations here. So we, for one, have the first sentence of the book. So I obviously had to make a bracket around it. I circled a word down here, slug, and then I just said disgusting word because I hate the word slug. It's so ugly. Slug. Sounds like it's wet, you know what I mean? I underlined Annabelle down here because that's her full name, and I just wrote horror doll. As you can see, my thoughts are very simple and not really that intelligent. But yeah, it just continues. As you see, sometimes there's not a lot, sometimes there's more. A scary, beautiful commentary, I know. Basically, all those symbols represent my emotions while reading certain lines. And this method was really helpful for me when I want to write a review for a book because I can go back and see my emotions. And then the same exact thing goes for most romance books. I draw out my emotions with ass and hearts and sad emojis and whatever I'm actually feeling. So for this book, on the first 5 pages, I can't really make a lot of commentary because I didn't do a lot. But here, I did a little frowny sad face because it says here, I adopted him and named him Chad since the dog is now my new best friend. And that was just so sad. I do a lot of me's as well. A little cringe face. This is a emoji I don't really use a lot, but when I use it, it's funny. Exclamation mark. And it just continues like this. I feel like it's very easy to understand, honestly. Yeah, sometimes there's a lot, sometimes there's nothing. And yeah, that just goes on throughout the entire book. And this is a fun method. I really like this method. It makes me feel really invested in a story. This is so random, but I forgot to say this. I also did this method in the first Shatter Me book I ever annotated. You know what he said here? I'll follow you anywhere. And then my reaction was, ah! So understandable. My second method is the highlighter method, but basically I just highlight any quote that I find very emotional and beautifully written and just something that I want to look back at. So for Open Water, I'm just gonna be reading the first one I ever highlighted because I feel like otherwise it's a spoiler and I want you all to read this book. You two are in something, I don't know what it is, but you guys are in something. Some people call it a relationship, some call it a friendship, some call it love, but you two are in something. And then 2 lines later it says, the two of you, like headphone wires tangling, caught up in this something, a happy accident, a messy miracle. This is one of my top quotes in this book and it's already on the first page. Oh, those are beautifully written sentences. I like them. I want to open this book again and see them, and that's why I highlight them. And yeah, as I already said, I use this method in books where I'm like, okay, I'll get some really beautiful quotes out of this and some beautiful sentences. I want to focus on that rather than the emotions I'm feeling right in that moment. So I obviously also use that method with classics. Here we have Carmilla. I highlighted Schloss because that's a German word, and I just think it's always so funny when people have German words in their book, so Schloss had to be highlighted. And then it says here, I have said that this is a very lonely place. And loneliness is always like a big thing in like horror books or movies, so I feel like anything that has to do with loneliness is just very important, and that's why I annotated it. And yeah, that's just how the book continues. It's very fun to annotate books like this in my humble opinion. It's very easy and quick. I feel like it's very prominent, and when I open the book, I know exactly where I'm trying to look. And that's the highlighted parts. And my third type of annotation method is the one I use when I reread a book or I right away know that a book is going to be a 5 out of 5 stars and I go ham. I use everything. I do emotions and quotes and everything. So here we have Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. Right here on the first page, we have the dedication as well as my little guide to the tabs. We have healing, grief, love, depression, and joy. As you can see, this book is sad. First sentence is always underlined. And then down here we have a description of falling in love, a little annotation of me, red for love. We have a little core memory up here, or at least that was my comment on it. Down here we have some amazing romance. I said I need someone to think about me in that way. And then I have some lovely little hearts and circles around the I love you, because that's what I usually do actually when I see an I love you. Then we go to the last page of the first chapter, and that's how far I will go, and it says, this feels like something will go wrong. Because something will always go wrong. That's how these stories go. You cannot fool me. These type of annotations are very special because I have to really like a book to go back to do all this to it. But if I do it, I feel like it's always so nice. And because it's such a rarity, it's also so nice to look at these. And I also did the exact same method with When You Are Everything. This is one of my favorite books ever. It's about friendship loss and dealing with that in high school. It was really good. We have here Nature in blue, Loss in turquoise, Friendship in sage, Macbeth, Hamlet references in purple, yellow is family. I always like to do yellow family. Pink is words for love, orange is growth and healing, and pink is foreshadowing. But we're starting off strong right away here with a nature reference. Everything feels like a memory in a city when it snows. It goes all blurry around its edges, like even as it's happening, it's already an old photograph. The whole world seems softer, gentler, quieter. Beautiful way to start up a book. And down here then we have turquoise for something sad, which is I haven't spoken to my best friend Layla in 27 days. This first page was gut-wrenching, I'm not gonna lie. And sometimes I underline some stuff without putting a tab there. For example, right here it says, but it's also inevitable that at some point by someone you'll be overlooked or completely forgotten. How freaking sad is that? Oh my god! I think you can see by the colors of the tabs what happens in the end, but yeah. But I don't want to spoil these books for you, so I thought in today's video I could show you how I annotate Open Me Carefully. This is a non-fiction book, and it's a collection of the letters that Emily Dickinson wrote to Susan, her lover, and also her brother's wife. The reason I picked this book is because my last read of 2023 was My Life Stood a Loaded Gun, and this was an amazing collection of poetry by Emily Dickinson. I bawled my eyes out. It was so good. I wanted to read everything by her right that second, and someone recommended to me this book because the letters between Emily Dickinson and Susan are rarely talked about. As you can see, I only annotated a little bit because I didn't want to spoil everything for you if you still wanted to read this book. But yeah, I think that's all I really have to say. I will now hand the microphone to Past Me, so Past Me can show you how I annotated this in the past. You guys, we were playing with time here. Is this Back to the Future? I don't know. Okay, so the first thing I usually do is finding out the themes. Now, what are themes? Themes can range from tropes all the way up to very, very, very specific plot lines or emotions. I like to normally focus on emotions, so I usually do something like grief, love, and then loss maybe as well. And yeah, depending if it's like a fantasy book or something, I'll include like fighting scenes, and that's just how I go through tabs. It really depends on what type of book it is. And to figure out those themes, if I haven't already read the book, is that I will go onto Google and just search up, open me carefully, themes. So I already did that, and I have Storygraph open here, and it says at the bottom, and it is particularly suited for readers who appreciate themes of love, family, and self-discovery. So that already gives me 3 themes, and I'll probably figure out the other 3 themes just by reading the blurb. Now, since this is a non-fictional book, one of the tabs is going to have to be context, because this is a book made up out of letters, and there's usually an author's note at the bottom just to explain really why this letter was written, when it was written, and what the context of this letter is. And anything that is important in those and that I will tab will be tabbed with the context tab. Does that make sense? Also, a very obvious tab for me in this book is going to be beautifully written, because Emily Dickinson is an author that writes a lot of poetry, and I love her poetry. So I know there's going to be some amazing, beautiful one-liners in here, or even two-liners, or even just full letters that I will want to reread again just because it's so beautifully written. So I like to tab that. And then the 6th theme is something that I just think will happen a lot in this book just because I read her poetry, and that is going to be either grief or sadness. So the next step would be matching the tabs to the cover. Now this cover is a beautiful beige orange. I don't have tabs in this color, so I'll probably just do some random ones, but I'll still try to find maybe some more earthy tones because this is a very earthy color. Honestly, I'm already seeing this one. I think this one could be really great. It's like darker, earthy fall tones, and I really like fall, so I think this would be so fitting for a poetry book. Duh! Which one do you think looks better? I don't even know why I'm asking you. I'm gonna choose before you guys, and I'm gonna choose this one. So yeah, I have my pen here, I have my ruler here, so let's get started. Now, if you're wondering why I have this highlighter here, don't ask any further questions. This is because I'm a liar. So I already read the introduction and highlighted important quotes. I'm sorry, everyone. I wanted to do this before because I feel like this is not the part you're all here for. Before we obviously start off, we have to do the tabs. I'm gonna be using the geometrical triangle as a little bit of a guideline right here to see where I'm gonna put the tabs. Let's start with the red one up top, and I'll work my way down here. So let's start with love, and I'll put it like right there. That's yellow for family. And then I'll actually do this green here for beautifully written or my favorite quotes. Then we have self-discovery, context, and grief or sadness. Okay. Now this is always the hardest part because I don't think I have a nice handwriting. So let's see. Can you even see that? It's so tiny and thin. I'm so sorry, everyone. It's fine. I'm gonna add a little heart to it. The pen is really dry. That looks so ugly. Whatever, you guys. This is the reality of what I'm doing. Here are the themes. So now we can finally get started with the book. Right here we already have what is going to be context. So for example, this right here seems to be an important one. In the early years of correspondence between 1851 and 1852, Susan moves to Baltimore to teach at Roberts Archer's School for Girls. So I'm just gonna underline this. Then I'll get a little tab in here. And I usually put my tabs at the bottom of the text, so right there. And then I wanna make a comment. I wrote longing in future letters, question mark. So then another thing I would tab is, for example, this right here. While Emily sends Susan passionate and playful letters, Austin formally courts Susan, and Emily secretly delivers his letters to her darling Sue. And then for me right here, I want to say forbidden romance exclamation mark. So I'm going to be doing that because I don't make intellectual comments. And then this right here is another one that I really like. Now, I would not put a tab here just because there's already one here from the same color and it's so close together. So I don't think I need one. Nice. Okay, this pen is clearly my biggest enemy because what the heck is going on? And then I sometimes don't have anything to say. So here I don't have anything to say, but we're finally starting with the first letter. I'm so excited. Oh my God. Dear Susie, happy Susie, I rejoice in all your joy. Underline. And then, so this is grief down here. She's talking about how Mary's gone and how she died. So I'll take the blue tab it right here, and then up here. Even though it's still in the context of sadness, I think this deserves a little romance tab, just because I think this is really cute. So up here, I'm gonna say longing to comfort Susan. And then obviously this down here means that Emily probably liked Susan's sister also, like sisters or friends, so yeah. Oh my gosh, it already starts off so sad. This basically just tells me how much he misses Susie in a very cute written way about the moon. How romantic. Now this right here already has the potential of being one of my favorite quotes. So this is a reference to the moon, and then she goes, I asked her to let me ride a little while ago and told her I would get out when she got as far as Baltimore. But she only smiled to herself and went sailing on. So Baltimore is so far away where Susan lives, and she just wants to travel with the moon so she can see Susan again. And that is so cute and sad. Now I'm not gonna say anything for my favorite quotes because I think it's very explanatory by itself. Maybe I'll draw like 2 hearts. One here and one here. Adorable. Yet again, there's something fun right here where she says that Susie is supposed to have all the fun in the world, but she cannot have so much fun that she forgets about Emily. I'm gonna be using, which is like probably a little random here, but this doesn't seem too romantic, but more family-wise. So I'm gonna be using a yellow tab here because she also mentions her sister. Make a little comment. Boom. I'm sure you know my promise far too well for that, and had I never said so, I should be constrained to write. For what shall separate us from any whom we love, not high nor depth. Lovely! This one, and yet again, I'm making a few little hearts because I just think it's so cute what she wrote here. Okay, now let's really quickly annotate letter 3 to 5. Okay, so I annotated all the way up to chapter 7, and I think I'm going to stop at that point with giving you all spoilers just because it's so good. I want you all to read this, okay? Now let me show you all some of the annotations I made because, oh my god, you won't believe it! This quote right here is the prettiest thing I've ever read in my entire life. While the frost clings to the windows and the world is stern and drear, this absence is easier. The earth mourns too for all her little birds, but when they all come back again and she sings and is so merry, pray what will become of me. Beautiful. And then we have even more beautiful quotes down here. Oh my gosh, like it's actually not funny anymore, you guys. Oh Susie, I would nestle close to your warm heart and never hear the wind blow or the storm beat again. Excuse me? And nowadays there's DMs. I want this. This is what I need in life. Like, someone write me romance letters like this. Dear, you cannot be, for I love you so already that it almost breaks my heart. Every day of my life, every morning and every evening. Oh, if you will let me, how happy I shall be. Shut up. This is the love I need in life. This is my new OTP right here. I cannot believe this. And yeah, you can just tell how lonely she is and how she seeks comfort in other people that also love Susie. And it's really sad actually. It's not pure happiness, but it's so beautifully written. And like this up here, oh my god, let me read this to you. That is so beautiful. When you come home, darling, I shan't have your letters, shall I? But I shall have yourself, which is more, oh more and better than I can ever think. God, the letters aren't enough for her. She needs Susie in real life. What is going on? Why is this so sad? And the fact that this is real as well and not fictional makes it even more sad. So sweet and still in thee, oh Susie, what need I more to make my heaven whole? Sweet hour, blessed hour, to carry me to you and to bring you back to me long enough to snatch one kiss and whisper goodbye again. What? What? This isn't okay. We're back in the future, everyone! I hope my annotation method of open me carefully was at least a little bit understandable. I know I'm very confusing, and I know most of the things that go in my head are probably not very understandable. And so even though this video might be confusing, thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you all have a great day, even nighttime, morning, whatever time zone in. Hope you're enjoying yourself. Go read a book. I think you should all read, very obviously, Open Me Carefully. Beautiful letters, beautiful poetry, beautiful writing. This is the type of romance I deserve in life, but I don't have it. Like, I'm looking, I'm searching. Where is it? I don't know. And I know my annotation method is not the most special or unique. I feel like I'm like every other girl who reads books. I'm like every other reader, okay? I'm not unique at all. So yeah, again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day, happy reading, and see you next time. Bye!